All right, this is a quick little the proverbial: do we buy now or do we wait? Definitely an understanding quagmire. So I'm going to delve in using the Redfin data center. I'm going to hyper focus on an area in Burke, Virginia, focusing on the months of November and where we are today, and versus the spring. We're going to look back at several things we'll consider. Obviously, is the median sales price, taking that into consideration. These are some of the so taking price consideration into our equation, plus the competitiveness of the time period now versus then, how the contingencies look versus how many are waived versus how many are not in that time period, and of course interest rates. So this is our little brief summary, and then we can now look at the actual the numbers on the data center. This is a snapshot again of Burke specifically. So looking at the median sales price, looking at this using the median sales price as an example, if we are, looking back at last year, basically last November, the median sales price for townhouses was $590, right? So fast forward to April of 2024, the springtime. So it was $642. So that's about an 8.81% increase in the median sales price. I mean, may fluctuate between 5 to 8. It just depends, assuming there's no global macro events. And we already have a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. So it seems to be still up and to the right. The other thing, is basically that we want to look at in terms of, competitiveness. We want to look at the contingencies, right? So peace of mind, the peace of mind factor. So if you're looking at November of last year, is just a point of reference, 18% of people waived contingencies. That could have been finance contingency, home inspection contingency, appraisal contingency, or all of the above. So this is actually an basically average of all those. So either way, November of 8 was 18% versus April 32%. So almost almost 50% increase. So there's that. So if you buy now, it's more of a balanced buyer's market versus later. In the spring, you wait, it gets more competitive, and to do that, you'll have to potentially have to waive things, which people don't want to have to do. But if it's a seller's market, unfortunately, that's what has to happen sometimes. So, and then the other variable to consider as well is, obviously interest rates. Looking here, it's kind of going back up a little bit to 6.4. But even if you look over across the years and look at, say, so looking at payments is going to be, say, what does you keep the down payment and such in here? But we're going to look at it. What's the difference in price range, right, or interest rate? So let's just say, fluctuating between 6.5%. The payment's going to be, $41.86 a month. Okay, let's just say that it's going to. What if we wait? Maybe it will go down to 6%. Again, I've seen people lower than this, but based upon credit and how much they're putting down, etc. But even at 6%, you wait it out, then that impacts the. Sure, it does. That impacts the payment by, basically what, $162. So, or even if we want to do just for kicks and giggles, 5.75. All right, this brings us down. Obviously, it brings the payment down. But how does that factor into, also waiting and the median sales price? So basically, in conclusion, whether it's the price trends, competition levels, and interest rates as a factor. If you're waiting, if you have a lease that is going to expire in the spring, of course you may have to pay, or 2 months worth of early termination fees. Maybe it could be $3, $4 grand, $6 grand, whatever. So you need to ask yourself that, looking at what we've seen here. What we have to see, we've seen here, do we want to, buy now, buy the dip, or potentially buy at the top? I mean, there's a lot of, obviously, variables at play, and It's easier said than done. But these are some things to consider. Buy now or wait. I'm Brett Nida, and I approve this message.